There is always a controversy about God's calendar just before each feast, Passover, Shavuot, and Sukkot, and then all during the year, regarding the weekly Sabbath. Many times these controversies have to do with the book or books of Enoch and the vision God showed him. There is a way to understand Enoch's vision while keeping in line with Yahweh's will. And what is that way? Servants of Yahweh, that's all believers in Yeshua, must always look for the commandment that says to do something. In this discussion, we need to find a commandment where God said to Enoch, "Start the year here." I have read Enoch and cannot find a commandment to Enoch like this one given to Aaron. Exodus 12:1. And the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be to you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. This particular month which Yahweh referenced was the month of Abib. It is the 6th month from Tishrei in Yahweh's civil calendar. Neither Yahweh's worship calendar or his civil calendar have coincided with any of man's calendars, whether ancient or modern. To start Israel on its path of service, which is worship to Yahweh, the Lord, he gave a clear command to Aaron and Moses about the timing of Yahweh's calendar. His calendar does not coincide with man's at all. This is deliberate. Why? Because Yahweh's calendar and all of his other laws set his kingdom apart from the world's. His calendar is for the purpose of Israel doing on earth what the angels of his heavenly kingdom do, serving, worshiping him in every way possible, with their time, their efforts, and their entire hearts, minds, bodies, and souls. Yahweh made Israel to be his servant on earth so they could bring people out of Satan's system with its worship of the demons and into his light, into his kingdom, wherein is freedom from sin. If you stay in Satan's system, you must sin. If you come into Yahweh's system, you must not sin. What we know of Enoch's calendar is that God used him to start us humans, knowing there are seasons, equinoxes, solstices, months, weeks, and days. But God did not tell Enoch how to use them. He just showed his timekeeping method to Enoch. It was people who figured out that the warm seasons come around the time of the spring equinox, and cold comes with the winter solstice. There are 2 equinoxes and 2 solstices in one year. These gave mankind a general way to know where they were in the annual cycle. Tell your friends to find where God told Enoch that he was to set the calendar in order to worship Yahweh. Yahweh had already set the 7th day as his Sabbath long before Enoch was born, even before Adam was created. So the Sabbath is cosmic. All we have to do is count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we are worshiping our Creator. Did God tell Enoch to set aside the Sabbath either? God showed Enoch the days. Nowhere in Scripture or in the books of Enoch, any of them, do we read that God commanded Enoch to keep the Sabbath. So, God showing Enoch the celestial cosmic events was not for the purpose of Enoch making a calendar. It was the purpose of showing him that God has a plan. God is in control of everything, literally everything, from the movement of the celestial bodies to the growth of the hair, or lack thereof, on your chinny chin chin. Enoch probably did keep the Sabbath because Enoch was righteous. Deuteronomy 4:8 says God's people are to keep His law because His law is righteous. Paul talks about the righteousness of the law too, but Enoch was not put in charge of the calendar because God did not give the calendar authority to Enoch. God gave the calendar authority to Aaron later on. God deliberately did not coincide any event on his calendar with any of the movements of the celestial bodies except for the moon. The moon, it seems, is more important to Yahweh than the other celestial bodies. Therefore, it should be more important to us as well. Why did God show Enoch how time works? To show Enoch and to tell all mankind that Yahweh Elohim is in charge. He alone controls time. He created time. Therefore, time obeys him. He can shorten, Matthew 24:22 and Mark 13:20, and lengthen time, Joshua 10:13. Yahweh does not intend for humans to replicate what they see. He only intends for us to do what He says. The celestial bodies, sun, moon, and stars, are for all mankind, according to Deuteronomy 4:19. But Yahweh's worship calendar is for biblical Israel, not to be confused with the modern UN-created political state of Israel. All believers in Yeshua/Jesus are citizens of biblical Israel and therefore are liable for Yahweh's law which He gave to Moses to teach us. This is because His kingdom is a government. It is not a philosophy. It is not a religion. Isaiah and Jeremiah were shown Yahweh's throne room. Did that mean Yahweh wanted them to build His throne room on earth? Perhaps they didn't understand the difference between being shown something and being commanded to do something. Enoch was shown Yahweh's celestial cosmic calendar. Was there a command from Yahweh to Enoch to make a calendar for mankind to follow? No. Why? Because time is God's creation. Man has no choice but to be bound by it. Ezekiel was shown Yahweh's chariot. Did that mean Yahweh wanted Ezekiel to build a replica of God's chariot on earth? Again, Enoch was shown Yahweh's celestial cosmic calendar. Was there a command from Yahweh to Enoch to make a calendar for mankind to follow? No. Why? Because time is God's creation. Man has no choice but to be bound by it. Therefore, Ezekiel did not make a chariot. And I'm going to type that in there. Therefore, Ezekiel did not make a chariot. There was no command from God to Ezekiel to build a chariot. And John was shown the original ark, the Ark of the Covenant, which God took to heaven, standing in the holy throne room. Should John have understood that God wanted him to make a replica of the ark to be on earth? Again, let me repeat. Enoch was shown Yahweh's celestial cosmic calendar. But was there a command from Yahweh to Enoch to make a calendar for mankind to follow? No. Why? Because time is God's creation. Man has no choice to be bound by it. Thus, John did not make an ark just because he was shown the original, which was standing in Yahweh's heavenly throne room. Unless God gives you the instructions for how to build something, like he did for Noah's Ark, or shows you the blueprint, like he did for his tabernacle in the wilderness, which he showed to Moses, do not take it on yourself to try to build something. And definitely don't say it is Yahweh's, Elohim's will for you to do it. That always ends up with us doing what is right in our eyes, but not his. So unless he specifically commands us, we must not take what he shows us as a command to make what he has shown us. Otherwise, Moses would have replicated, or tried to replicate, the burning bush, and Isaiah and Jeremiah might have tried to build a replica of Yahweh's throne room on earth. Exodus 15:26 says, "And he," that's Yahweh, said, "If you will diligently listen to Yahweh your God's voice, and will do that which is right in his," that's Yahweh's eyes, "and will pay attention to his commandments and keep all of his statutes, I will put none of the diseases on you which I have put on the Egyptians. For I am Yahweh who heals you." Deuteronomy 12:8. "You shall not do all the things that we do here today, every man whatever is right in his own eyes." Deuteronomy 12:25. "You shall not eat it, that it may go with you and with your children after you, when you shall do that which is right in Yahweh's eyes." Deuteronomy 12:28. "Observe and hear all these words which I command you, that it may go well with you and with your children after you forever, when you do that which is good and right in Yahweh your God's eyes." We're not to do what we want to. We're not to do what is right in our eyes. Enoch's vision is all about humans understanding God's timing. It was not time for mankind to be given God's worship calendar during Enoch's days, but it was time to give it to Israel, and specifically the control of and authority over it to Aaron when God created Israel.